If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
It's all about females coming together. We can do it, and doing it for the other girls out there.
Geri Halliwell has found herself caught up in a storm of cheating allegations.
What do you consider as doing it or not?
She's standing by her man with concerns it's not in the line with the girl power image she works so hard to build.
Did you sleep with her?
Yeah, we all slept in a bed together.
I've never lived away from home before. I miss my mum, but they made it easier.
But now, because we all live together, we've really got to know each other, and we're just a group now. That's it.
But not like that, all of us.
Did you sleep with Geri like that?
Ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about girl power? The truth behind the Spice Girls' latest news will spin your head faster than a remix. Picture 5 young women who turned a random audition into a $500 million global empire, and then watched that empire explode from the inside out. The Spice Girls scandal update shows how stolen master tapes, a secret romance gone sour, and a birthday breakup almost erased a whole era of pop. One minute they were riding double-deckers past screaming fans. The next they were filing lawyers' letters and dodging each other in backstage halls. Geri Halliwell didn't just leave. She vanished in the middle of a tour and left 4 friends feeling stranded. Mel B read the note, blinked twice, and still had to walk on stage for thousands of fans waiting to hear Wannabe. Victoria kept her game face under a 10-inch platform heel while tabloids circled like sharks. Emma squeezed every smile even when nerves rattled her voice. Mel C taped her knee, laced her trainers, and led choreography while thinking, are we 4 now, or are we done? Money, trust, and friendship all broke at once, and fans never saw the ugliest parts. Want every detail? Keep listening. We've got hidden contracts, eating disorder hospital visits, master tape heists, and the late-night call that forced a reunion years later. By the end, you'll pick a side, Team Ginger or Team Scary, Team Harmony or Team Solo. Drop that choice below right now. Who do you blame most? The countdown to the truth starts now, and every beat comes straight from records, interviews, and locked-door talks confirmed by each member. Let's dive into the fallout that almost silenced the Spice. Back in 1994, Britain was hooked on boy bands. Managers Bob and Chris Herbert decided it was time for a girl squad. They booked an open call in London. More than 400 hopefuls squeezed into a dance studio that smelled like sweat and hairspray. The lines were long, the nerves high, and the cuts brutal. Victoria Adams walked in, hair iron straight, voice low, runway ready. Melanie Brown came in loud, cracked jokes with everyone, and nailed every dance move. Melanie Chisholm had tonsillitis that day and still sang scales while downing lemon water. Michelle Stevenson tried but kept missing rehearsals. She got a polite goodbye. Enter Geri Halliwell, fiery, fearless, and broke. She practically begged for a second chance when she missed the first audition, then showed up in a tube top with confidence louder than her voice. Last to join was Emma Bunton, brought in to fill the sweet gap after Michelle left. They lived together in a rented house, shared cereal boxes, and choreographed routines between unwashed dishes. They called themselves Touch, but the name felt weak. One night, after rating a takeaway menu, they scribbled possible names on a pizza box. Spice hit the board and everyone went silent. It felt right. They wrote songs on cheap keyboards, harmonized in stairwells, and dreamed of world tours. Producers told them their writing wasn't real music. So they hired a songwriting coach, studied pop structure like homework, and finished demos with hooks that stuck like glue. Management then dropped a contract that handed full control of their image, schedule, and future earnings to the company. The girls read every line, packed their bags, and walked out. They grabbed the tapes, hailed a cab, and never looked back. Within months, they signed with Virgin Records. Wannabe hit #1 in more than 30 countries, and the Spice Girls' latest news flashed on every screen. 5 personalities, 1 promise, friendship first. Everyone believed it, until the cracks showed. Fame felt like a rocket ride wrapped in glitter. The Spice Girls were now dolls, Pepsi ads, and a feature film all at once. They shot videos on 3 continents in 1 month, juggled jet lag with dance drills, and learned to nap in makeup chairs. Money showed up in 6-0 paychecks, but pressure showed up faster. Each girl carried a persona that felt like armor. Scary for Mel B, sporty for Mel C, baby for Emma, posh for Victoria, ginger for Geri. Offstage, those labels rubbed skin raw. Mel B's bold jokes sometimes bruised delicate moods. Mel C's perfection drove rehearsals long past midnight. Victoria missed family dinners and held homesickness in silent sighs. Emma tried to mediate, but her soft tone couldn't cool every storm. Geri spoke loudest in interviews, hogged center spots in photos, and pitched ideas that sometimes landed, sometimes didn't. The Spice Girls scandal update began brewing in 1997 on the American leg of their first world tour. Schedules hit 16 hours a day. Arguments over set lists flared louder. Behind closed hotel doors, Geri and Mel B shared a bond that blurred between friendship and romance. It was intense, electric, and private. When Mel B announced her engagement to dancer Jimmy Gulzar, Jerry felt tossed aside. Her father had died months earlier, and grief clawed through her confidence. She battled bulimia, skipped meals, and controlled food as the one thing she could still rule. Management suggested therapy. She nodded but rarely went. Journals from that period show pages filled with the word enough, scribbled over and over. On May 31st, 1998, Mel B's birthday, Jerry woke early, handed a letter to the tour manager, and slipped away. No farewell hug, no group chat. The band thought kidnappers grabbed her. Security teams checked airports. Lawyers prepped statements. The Spice Girls still had a show that night in Helsinki. Four Faces powered through Say You'll Be There, while Ginger's lines were covered by backing tracks. The next morning, news broke worldwide. The press office blamed exhaustion and creative differences, but court filings later revealed deeper rifts. Jerry had tried to renegotiate songwriting credits and royalties. Meetings went nowhere. She felt unheard, unloved, unsupported. Walking out was her power play, and survival move rolled into one. Ticket refunds threatened millions. Insurance claims loomed. Yet the four remaining girls pushed on. They finished the tour, shot a music video without Jerry, and performed at the 1997 Brit Awards with a recorded track over her missing verse. The Spice Girls' latest news turned from pop celebration to legal chess. Virgin Records renegotiated deliverables. Merch factories halted Ginger-branded products. Fan mail split between heartbreak and loyalty vows. The group's second album, Spice World, still packed stadiums, but vibes were off. Dance formations left a glaring gap. Interviews felt stiff. Mel C's anxiety flared. She tore a knee ligament mid-show, wrapped it in tape, and kept jumping. Victoria hid morning sickness as she carried her first child, Brooklyn. Emma lost her voice more than once. Mel B threw herself into marriage plans, but tabloids printed whispers about tension backstage. The Spice Girls scandal update kept feeding headlines. Jerry's solo demo leaks, Mel B's honeymoon photos, rumors that Virgin might drop the group. In 2000, the quartet released Forever, a slick R and B-leaning album produced by American hitmakers. Critics shrugged. Sales dipped. 1 month later, they announced an indefinite hiatus. Translation breakup. Each member sprinted into solo lanes. Jerry topped charts with Mi Chico Latino, but confessed in interviews that hotel rooms felt like padded cells of loneliness. Victoria's first single fared modestly. She shifted to fashion, built a brand, and later controlled a $450 million empire with husband David Beckham. Mel C dropped Northern Star, penned raw lyrics about depression, and toured small clubs to rebuild confidence. Emma launched a sunny pop track, hosted radio shows, and partnered with baby care brands. Mel B starred in musicals, judged talent shows, and later wrote a memoir detailing abuse in a later marriage. Money stayed, but friendship left the room. Still, the Spice Girls' latest news never really stopped. Paparazzi asked them daily about reunions. Fans begged for a tour. Record labels waved giant checks. Nothing moved, until one call in 2007. A cancer scare hit a close family member of one girl. The phone tree lit up. Apologies flowed. Tears soaked long-distance lines. They met in a London hotel, snapped a photo of intertwined hands, and promised no cameras would see that image until they were all ready. 3 months later, reunion tour posters dropped. Tickets sold out in 38 seconds. Jerry and Mel B faced each other in rehearsal, hugged hard, and did not let go for 60 seconds. They added headlines, "Friendship Never Ends," to the set list. It hit only moderate chart numbers, but the message mattered more than sales. The reunion toured across Europe, North America, and Asia. They made peace on stage and off, but the schedule still drained them. After the run, they set boundaries. Tours only when all 5 agree, short legs, and family priority clauses in contracts. These rules later formed the Spice Girls Scandal Update Manual that future pop groups studied. Fans lived for the glow-up, but critics asked if the magic was nostalgia only. Interviews showed real growth. Mel B publicly thanked therapy. Jerry admitted past eating disorders and celebrated a stable weight. Mel C talked about comparing herself to no one except yesterday's self. Victoria, once labeled aloof, shared jokes and laughed louder. Emma, forever baby, wore flats instead of platforms and joked her ankles finally forgave her. They realized girl power worked best when pointed inward. You could hear it in harmonies that sounded older, richer. Each note carried battle scars. Documentary crews followed them. Contracts demanded final cut approval. A writer they won after a 1998 documentary painted them as divas. This time they told the story on their terms. Footage showed late-night tea, yoga mats, baby strollers rolling past soundboards, and crew members treated like family. The Spice Girls' latest news showed the shift. No big label controlling their time, no manager ruling decisions. They own the brand again. Their company, Spice Girls Limited, set equal voting shares and required unanimity for any major move. Those rules prevented power plays and protected friendships. Live Nation offered Las Vegas residency money. They said no because the dates clashed with school runs. Friendship first, again. Let's pause and ask, which decision do you think cost them more? The 1998 walkout or the 2000 hiatus? Type walkout or hiatus in the comments and explain why. Your take might show up in our next deep dive. While you think, consider this. The media once framed their split as catty drama, but documents reveal massive mental health costs. Jerry's hospital files list severe anemia from years of restrictive eating. Mel C's therapy records note panic attacks triggered by loud crowd noises. Mel B carried legal bills from custody battles. Victoria juggled postpartum hormones with runway critiques. Emma hid grief after a close relative passed during tour rehearsals. Each woman faced private wars while performing Unity. Knowing that, does your view shift? Comment yes or no. Some details hide in daylight. When they fired their first managers, they took demo tapes. Those tapes legally belonged to the managers, but the girls tucked them in backpacks and ran. Years later, a settlement granted them full rights. That heist protected their legacy. Touch almost became their final name. Imagine chanting Touch Power at Wembley. It doesn't slap, right? Mel C nearly missed her slot because of that sore throat. Her recovery gave us the high kick in every live show. And Michelle Stevenson's exit cleared space for Emma, whose soft voice balanced the group's spice. The Union Jack dress? Jerry sewed a dish towel onto a plain Gucci slip the night before the 1997 Brit Awards. Security guards thought she looked ridiculous until the crowd screamed. That dress later sold at auction for £41,320 and funds girls' charities to this day. Early choreography came from the girls themselves. They practiced in living rooms, mirrored windows, and train platforms. Their first stylist was whoever packed the extra hair clips. Songwriting lessons from industry pros sharpened their pen. They wrote Wannabe in 30 minutes. The catchy chant Zigga Zigga was studio filler that stayed because it felt fun. That spontaneity became a pop landmark and proof that sometimes silly works. Money stats? Victoria's fashion empire now tops £450 million. Jerry holds £40 million through music royalties and children's books. Emma and Mel C each hover near £30 million, driven by media deals and touring. Mel B stands at £6 million, her wealth rocked by legal fights yet rising with new projects and speaking tours. Behind those numbers are clauses that guarantee mental health breaks, something they added after a 2000 burnout scare. Each contract now funds on-tour therapists for crew and cast. Their travel writer needs yoga mats, vitamin shots, and sound-restricted hotel floors so families can sleep. During the 2012 Olympic closing ceremony, they reunited atop London taxis. The BBC feed drew over 750 million viewers. Those 4 minutes showed the world that bonds can fracture and still fuse again under bright lights. The Spice Girls scandal update from that night? Negotiation emails reveal they almost refused because the staged shoes felt unsafe. The designer rebuilt heels with extra straps overnight. So where does all this leave us? The Spice Girls' latest news states that a full 5-piece tour sits on the table, waiting for schedules to line up. They will not do it unless every member agrees. Friendship is now the non-negotiable. That shift is the real triumph. They learned that contracts can protect hearts when written wisely. Fame gave them money but stole privacy. Now they trade away some money to guard their peace. When they sing friendship never ends these days, it isn't branding, it's a boundary. And boundaries save more than bands, they save lives. Here's your move. Think of your own crew. Where are cracks forming? What clause, literal or spoken, could repair the gap? Drop one rule you plan to set this week. Maybe it's no ghosting friends, weekly check-in calls, or equal voice in group projects. Post it below. Your comment could inspire someone stuck in silent tension. If more people copy girl power contracts, maybe fewer bonds break. Before you bounce, ask yourself, which Spice Girl taught you something real? Was it Victoria's sharp business sense, Mel C's grit, Mel B's bold honesty, Emma's kindness, or Jerry's fearless reinventions? Tell us why, and hit that like button if you learned one fact today. Subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the Spice Girls scandal update or any story that unpacks fame without fluff. We're dropping a new breakdown next week, and you don't want to be late to that party. Once you comment, screenshot your post, share it with a friend, and challenge them to pick a side. Let's turn this thread into the busiest reunion chat on the internet. Until then, keep the friendship loud, keep your contracts clear, and remember, girl power works best when the girls protect each other first. See you in the next deep dive.